Hi guys, my name is Miss Sykes. I'm a first grade Title I reading teacher, and for today's lesson we're going to be working on our ABCs. So we're going to be working on our alphabet. We'll be singing them, saying them, reading them, and finding words that begin with each one of those letters. For independent practice, you'll be writing and singing your ABCs. So let's look at our materials for the day. It's obviously important to know our ABCs because this is the foundation of all things involving reading. Before we can look at letters and sounds, we need to know what the sounds themselves are. So that's what today's lesson is all about. For today's lesson, you're going to need your ears, obviously. We're going to be listening and singing along. And for the independent practice, we'll need paper and a pencil or something to write with. We're going to start by singing our alphabet. Now you know the ABC song, you've heard it before. And as we sing, each one of the letters that we're saying will be highlighted. So you'll be able to see the letter that we're singing as we say it out loud. Let's start singing together. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Excellent job, friends. We'll do that one more time at the end as well. So now let's look at each one of these letters by themselves. The first letter of the alphabet is A. We make capital A by starting at the top, drawing a line down, going back to the top, drawing another line down, and crossing. We draw lowercase a by drawing a line down, and then drawing a loop around. A says A, as in apple. We see the word apple here, and we see the A at the beginning. Apple is for A. Now, A is a vowel, and vowels have a short sound and a long sound. But today we're just going to be focusing on the short sounds. So A's short sound is A. Next up is B. To make a capital or uppercase B, we take our pencil and we draw a line straight down. Then we draw two loops next to it. To make a lowercase b, we make another line down, and instead of making two loops, we just make one. The letter B says B, 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 as in baby, B, B, baby. We see the B at the beginning of baby, and we see it also shows up in the middle, but we're just focusing on the beginning sound today. B, B, B is for B, B, baby. Next up is C. C is one of the easiest letters to form because it's just one big curved line. You start at the top, draw a line curving around, and come up at the bottom. Lowercase c is very similar, but it's just a little bit smaller. So we're going to start a little bit lower and then curve our C around again. C says k, as in cat. K, k, cat. There's another letter that also says k, which is K, but we'll get to that one later. C is for cat. K, k. C is k, k, cat. Next up is D. Capital D is formed by making a straight line down, then a curved line around. Lowercase d also starts with a straight line down and curves the opposite direction of lowercase b. If I was drawing a lowercase b, it would be curving this way. D says D, as in dog. D, D, D is D, D, dog. Next up is E. To make the letter E, capital E, we start at the top and make a line straight down. Then we have three shorter lines that we draw across. 1, 2, and 3. You'll need to pick up your pencil after each one of those shorter lines. Lowercase e can be a little bit tricky, but if we think about it like this, it's not as bad as you think. We're going to start right here. Then we're going to draw a line across, make a big curve up so it comes back and touches the line, and then keep right on going down and around. The short sound for E is E, as in elephant. Elephant. E also has a long sound, but we're just doing short sounds today. E has two sounds because it is a vowel. Our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. But let's focus on E. E is elephant. Next up is F. To make a capital F, we have one straight line down as if we're making a capital E, and instead of 3 lines going across, we have 2. You'll need to pick up your pencil after each one of those shorter lines. To make a lowercase f, we start at the top and we have a curve. So it's as if you're drawing a shepherd's staff all the way down to the bottom. Then we're going to cross in the middle with a short line. F says f, as in frog. F is frog. Next up is the letter G. G has a big curve. It starts just like the letter C does. Capital G curves all the way around, then goes up a little bit, crosses, and then doubles back. Lowercase g curves down and around below the line, and then comes back up to round around the top. G says g, as in goat. Some people think that G says j, because we hear it at the beginning of the letter, G. But that's not the letter that says j. J says j. We have to remember that G says g, as in goat. G, g. G is g, g, goat. Next up is the letter H. Capital H has two big, strong, straight lines down, and then one that crosses in the middle. Lowercase h has one straight line down, and then it comes back up for a curve. H says h, as in house. You can feel the air leaving your mouth if you say the letter h. Because there's no sound, it's just the air moving. H is house. Next up is I. I is a vowel. To make the letter I, capital I, we have a straight line down and then two short lines across at the top and the bottom. Lowercase I has a smaller straight line down, and then we come back up to add a dot at the top. Now I is a vowel, which means it has two sounds as well. Today we're learning the short sound, I, as in igloo. I says I, as in igloo. I is igloo. Next we have J. J curves all the way down and then crosses at the top. Lowercase j also curves all the way down, but instead of a cross, it has a dot. J is a letter that says j, not g. J says j, as in jump. J, j. J is j, j, jump. Next up we have K. To make capital K, we draw a straight line down. Then we have a line that sort of angles upward and another diagonal line coming down off of it. Lowercase k is very much the same, but it's a little bit smaller. We have a straight line down and a slightly smaller diagonal line coming off the top and the bottom. K says k, as in kangaroo. Now, if you remember, when we did the letter C, we said that there was another letter that said k as well. This is that letter. Both C and K say k. K says k, as in kangaroo. K, k. K is k, k, kangaroo. Next up is L. To make an L, we have one straight line down and one straight across. Lowercase l is even easier. It is simply one straight line down. L says L, as in lion. Your tongue will go between your teeth when you say the letter L, L, which is how you know you're forming it correctly. L is lion. Next up we have M. To make a capital M, we start down at the bottom, draw a straight line up, a diagonal line all the way back down to the bottom, another diagonal line all the way up to the top, and another straight line all the way down to the bottom. To make lowercase m, we start in the middle. We draw a straight line down, then retrace that straight line to come make two big curves for the M. M says Your lips will be closed when you form this letter. M says as in mouse. M is mouse. Next up is N. N, to form the letter N, you start at the bottom and go all the way up as if you were making an M. You'll take a diagonal line down and then a straight line back up. To form lowercase n, you'll draw a straight line down and then double back to make that curve. N says N, as in nest. Now it sounds similar to M, but with the letter N, your lips are not closed. Your tongue will touch the back of your top teeth. N, which is how you know you're forming the letter correctly. N is nest. Next up is O. O is one of the easiest letters to draw as it is simply one big circle and one small circle for the upper and lowercase letters. O is a vowel, meaning it has two sounds. O's short sound is aw, as in octopus. Aw, aw. O is aw, aw, octopus. Next up is P. To form the letter P, we draw a straight line down and then a curve around. Lowercase p is very much the same, but instead of being formed on the lines, it will be formed below them. A straight line down with a small curve around. P says p, as in penguin. P is penguin. Next up is Q. To make a capital letter Q, you form it as if you're starting an O with one big circle. Then we take a small diagonal line and draw it across the bottom. Lowercase q is formed with a small circle and then a line straight down. Q says qu, as in queen. Qu, qu. Q is qu, qu, queen. Next up is R. To form the letter R, you draw a line straight down, then a big curve around the top and a small diagonal line back down. Lowercase r is formed with a straight line down and a small curve at the top. R says as in rain. R is ain. Next we have S. The letter S curves like a big snake. We start at the top and it curves all the way down, back and forth until it gets to the bottom. The same goes for lowercase s, except it is smaller. S says s, as in sun. S is sun. Next we have T. To make a capital T, you draw a line straight down and then cross at the top. Lowercase t is formed with a straight line down and a cross in the middle. T says t, as in 10. T is 10. Next up is U. Capital U is one big curve all the way around. Lowercase u is a smaller curve that then doubles back with a line down. U is a vowel. That means it has two sounds. U's short sound is as in umbrella. U is umbrella. Next up is V. To make the letter V, we start at the top and draw a diagonal line down, then another diagonal line back up. Lowercase v is formed the same way, but the V is smaller. V says v, as in violin. V is violin. Next is W. To form the letter W, it looks like an upside down M. We start at the top instead of the bottom, and we draw a diagonal line down, back up, down, and up again. Lowercase w is formed the same way, except that it is smaller. W says w, as in watermelon. W is watermelon. Next is X. Capital X is formed by two diagonal lines crossing in the middle. Lowercase X is formed the same way, but it is smaller. X says x, as in X-ray. X is X-ray. Next we have Y. Capital Y is formed by two diagonal lines meeting in the middle with a short line coming down from the bottom. Lowercase y is formed by a diagonal line coming down and a longer diagonal line meeting it. Y says y, as in yellow. Y is yellow. Lastly, we have Z. Z is formed by taking your pencil, drawing straight across, a diagonal down, and straight across again. Lowercase z is formed the same way, but it is smaller. Z says z, as in zebra. Z is zebra. Excellent job, friends. We have our alphabet here again that we can go through and sing. But last but not least, I want you to practice singing and writing your alphabet all by yourself. Rock on, superstars, and keep up the good work.